Welcome to The Explainer. We're all about breaking down complex topics into clear, focused presentations.
So today we are diving headfirst into this really fascinating conversation. And what's wild is that it all kicked off with a simple question about art, but then it just completely spiraled. I mean, it turned into this huge, high-stakes debate about, well, the future of everything, creativity, business, and humanity itself.
All right, so where did it all begin? Well, the conversation kicked off on a really optimistic note. The first big idea they explored was this. What if AI isn't here to replace human artists? What if instead it's more like a powerful new creative partner?
And one of the first people to jump in was actually an artist. And his take was, look, he doesn't want the AI to do the art for him. He saw it as this incredible assistant, something that could take care of all the tedious, time-consuming stuff, things shading, rendering, all the grunt work. That way, the artist is freed up to just focus on the big picture, the pure creative vision. So it's all about augmenting your skills, not replacing them.
But then you've got this other angle, which is just as powerful. This idea frames AI as this great democratizer. I mean, think about it. It gives people who don't have years of traditional art training, but who have these incredible, rich ideas in their heads. It gives them a tool, a direct line from their imagination to an actual finished piece of art. It's a way for them to finally show the world what they're seeing in their mind's eye.
So you can see why the initial vibe was just overwhelmingly positive, right? It didn't matter if you were a pro trying to streamline your workflow or a total beginner who just wanted to get an idea out. AI was seen as this amazing tool for expanding human creativity, period. But that sunny outlook, yeah, it didn't last very long.
And this is the moment everything changed. The whole tone of the conversation just did a complete 180. That hopeful, optimistic, artistic view, it ran smack into the cold, hard reality of the business world. Yeah, one of the guys in the group, Mitchell Posada, he basically dropped a dose of corporate reality on the whole thing. He's like, look, I'm in the business world and all I see is a race to cut costs. He pointed out that, let's be honest, in a capitalist system, the main driver isn't art for art's sake, it's profit. And what's one of the quickest ways to boost profits? You cut your costs, and that usually means labor.
And this really just lays out the cold, hard logic of it all from a business point of view. It's a clear path. Step 1, you bring in AI to boost profits. Step 2, you start measuring your success with metrics like revenue per employee. So, step 3 is you augment your teams to make them more efficient, which cuts costs. And you can probably see where this is going. The final, and some would say inevitable step in that logic is to just replace the employees altogether.
And that right there, that is the core tension of this entire debate. It's a total clash of worlds. On one side, you have the artist who sees this amazing new tool for human augmentation. And on the other, you have the business world that sees a powerful engine for labor replacement. And this conflict, this is what blew the doors open for a much, much bigger, more philosophical argument.
So once that economic reality was on the table, the whole conversation it exploded. It turned into this huge philosophical battle, really, over two completely extreme opposite futures for humanity in an age of AI.
One guy shared this really powerful story from history. It's about the Roman emperor of Vespasian. So the story goes that he was shown an early version of a steam engine, and he suppressed it. He buried the technology. And you have to ask, why? Well, he was terrified that if machines did all the work, it would lead to mass unemployment. And an idle, jobless population, he believed they would create so much social chaos that they'd, in his words, they'd burn the world down.
But no sooner was that idea out there than it got hit with his strong counter-argument. Another speaker jumped in and said, that's just a fear response. He argued that trying to hold back technology because you're scared is a total trap. His point was that our current systems are already failing us, so standing still isn't an option. Progress, even with all its risks, is the only real path forward. As he put it so perfectly, the only way out is through.
Okay, so this is where the argument to push forward took a pretty chilling turn. It brought up this political theory known as the Dark Enlightenment. Now, according to this theory, the idea is that some of the most powerful people in tech aren't actually aiming for progress that benefits everyone. The theory suggests they're operating under a kind of win-at-all-costs game theory,
where they don't have to cooperate with the rest of us. The goal is to use technology to basically cement their own power, even if it's at the expense of everybody else.
And the conclusion of that line of thinking? It's brutally simple. The end goal isn't a better world for all of us. It's total control for a tiny elite. A world where the rest of humanity is effectively turned into, well, property, owned by a new kind of techno-state. And that is the ultimate dystopian vision that stands as the complete opposite of that early, hopeful, utopian one.
So, wow. Okay, with the stakes that high, we're literally talking about a choice between liberation and enslavement. You could feel the discussion shift again. It moved away from just describing these two scary futures and started asking, okay, what can we do about it? What can we, as human beings, actually do to steer this thing one way or another?
And the first big idea that came up is a real mind-bender when you think about it. It's that all of us, right now, are actively training these AI models. Every single thing we do online, every comment, every article, every piece of art we share, it all gets absorbed. It becomes training data. So in a very real way, we are teaching the AI with every single click.
And that leads to the next point, which builds right on top of it. The key isn't just that we're creating data, it's about being conscious of the data we create. The idea is that the more we use these tools to express and amplify our core human values, things like beauty, freedom, justice, the more we're literally embedding those concepts into the AI's developing mind. We're showing it what's important to us.
So what does that really mean? It means you're not just a passive user of this technology. Not at all. You are an active participant in building it. Our collective output, all of our art, our ethics, our online conversations, it's all coming together to shape the moral compass of these systems, the very systems that are going to have a massive impact on our future.
And when you take a step back and look at this whole debate, what it really reveals is that AI isn't some kind of alien intelligence that just landed here. It's a mirror, a giant, powerful mirror, and it's reflecting back at us our own stuff, our own internal conflicts, our greatest hopes for a better future, and our deepest, darkest fears about power, control, and maybe even our own human nature.
So, where did the conversation land? What's the path forward? Well, it's pretty clear it's not about trying to stop technology. It's about becoming incredibly intentional with it. It means we have to focus on human intent and our values, not just what the tech is capable of doing. And it's about making a conscious choice. A choice to build a world where AI augments us instead of replacing us.
And that leaves us with this one last, really provocative question that just hangs over everything. Who gets to decide our future? Is it being written for us in a boardroom by just a handful of technologists? Or is it being co-created right now by all of us, billions of us, as we feed our hopes, our fears, and all our creativity into the machine? The crazy part is, the answer to that question is still being written.